How's it going, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well this evening. Today, I'm gonna be showing you guys my second build. Last video, which I uploaded a couple of weeks ago, blew up. I think as of today, it has like 22,000 views, and it's something that I never actually expected. So thank you, everybody, whoever watched, whoever commented, whoever subscribed. I appreciate it. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscriptions, and thank you for the attention that you guys have given that video. So today we're gonna do things a little bit faster. This is my second rig, and I'm gonna call this my Nvidia rig. Last one was AMD, and with the RX 580s, and I've added a couple of cards since then. We'll talk about that later. But this is my Nvidia rig. And I'm gonna tell you guys what components I'm gonna be using, how I managed to get them, what prices I bought them at, and kind of my thought process behind this build. So first things first, let's talk about the main components. Let's start off with the GPUs. Number one, we have a 1660 Super, and this is a Gigabyte one. I actually got this for MSRP. At the time, this was maybe a couple of weeks ago, I got it for roughly 450 Canadian, roughly. And all prices are gonna be in Canadian, by the way, because I don't want to be doing the conversion. It's easier for in my head to just remember the prices in Canadian. So if you have a price in mind, or like something that you want to know how much it costs in US dollars or any other currency, you can do the conversion on your end. And I'll also go ahead and list the price list in the description below. 1660. Roughly 450 bucks with taxes. I also have another card. This is the 1070. I got this used from somebody on Facebook Marketplace, and it's in excellent condition. This cost me roughly about $240. The gentleman advertised it for $280. I made a quick offer at $240, and he accepted. I went and picked it up. Right now, these are going for $600 plus. This is my beloved 1070 Ti. This was in my gaming rig for the past 3 years. I bought this in 2017 at the height of the crypto boom at that time as well, and it cost me a lot of money back then. However, this is probably one of the best cards I've ever owned. I almost have a sentimental attachment to it. I took it out of my machine, and now it's gonna sit in this mining rig. I would say roughly right now, if you were to buy this on Facebook Marketplace or on Kijiji or any of your local marketplaces online, it'll probably cost you upward of anywhere from like $600 plus or even more. So I've seen some crazy prices upward of the 800 bucks. I do not recommend you buy it at those prices. Any of the online prices, please do not buy cards at those prices. Either make a good deal with the person that is advertising them, or be patient, or if you find a good deal, jump on it right away. Maybe put a deposit. Tell the person, hey, I'll deposit, I'll secure it. You have to be quite persistent these days, otherwise you'll miss out on good opportunities. Another 1660 Super. So we got two 1660 Supers, one 1070 and one 1070 Ti. I actually overpaid for this one. I rushed a bit. I paid 520 bucks Canadian. This one MSRP is at probably, with tax, I want to say anywhere from like 400 to 450. So overpaid about 50 bucks on this one at least. But the guy was nice. He was very courteous, very nice about his negotiations. So I went and picked it up from him. And one thing to say about 1660 Supers, they're growing on me. They're performing really well. They've got good efficiency. Not a whole lot of headache. You don't have to do a whole lot of like overclocking, undervolting, all of that stuff. It just works. I've had experience, with the RX 580s. I've had a little bit of stability issues, which could be something that is on my end. But 1660 Supers, I would say 1660 Supers are good entry budget kind of cards to get into. I'll talk about the hashing rates of every individual card, and while we put the build together. Finally, the most beautiful of them all is this. I landed this. I'm so happy that I landed this. It didn't take me a whole lot to be able to secure a 3070. This is the Asus TUF Gaming graphics card, RTX 3070. I pre-ordered this 2 weeks ago, and it took about 10 days to 2 weeks for it to come through. Now, don't ask me why. I might have got like very, very lucky. The place where I got it from, which is a local shop over here, said they got a decent shipment of RTX 3070s, and mine came through. So I haven't even opened it. It's been sitting here on my desk for the past 3 days, and I've been trying to find time to make this video. Yeah, 3070. We're gonna put it. We're gonna unbox it. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna see how beautiful it is, and then we will test it and see how how it performs. What else do we need? We need risers. I have a bunch right here. They're kind of like a little bit unorganized. Risers, you know the deal by now. The ones that I have are version 007C. I've ordered a bunch of new ones from GPUrisers.com. There should be coming sometime in April. These things are very tough to find. They're quite expensive as well. And I have also acquired other risers that are newer. I think version 009 from like a local seller that was selling it on Facebook Marketplace. You can find some good deals on Facebook Marketplace. You just have to be patient and be on the lookout for deals. Power supply, also got it used. If you can find power supplies that are used in good shape, go for it. This is a 850 watts Thermaltake RGB. I don't care about the RGB really, but like I got this for 120 bucks. Yeah, 120 Canadian. Used for I think a couple of weeks, and then the guy decided to upgrade or something like that. 120 bucks. If you were to buy this brand new, you'll probably pay 180, maybe 190 dollars. All right, what else? Let's talk about the motherboard. I've already done some of the work on putting this together and on the motherboard and CPU and cooler, because I didn't want it, I didn't want to take too much time on the video doing this, but I'll tell you guys what I've went with. Before I continue, I'm sorry for it's a little bit crammed over here. I'm trying to find my place in my studio with my computer setup and all the components, and it's been quite tricky trying being able to find a good spot to do things. So if this is a little bit crowded, let me know please, and I'll try to I'll try to adjust and figure things out the next time. Back to the motherboard. MSI Z390A Pro, the same one that we used for our first video. Why? Because it works. And I know it's a gaming motherboard. I don't want to experiment with trying other types of motherboards, and mining motherboards right now is almost impossible or extremely expensive. So I've managed to make this work with 6 cards last time, so I figured why not? I'll go again and I'll try it out. This one I got for 159 before tax, so that was like roughly 170, 180 after tax. A bit on the expensive side again, but it works. You have to think about these things. The more you wait to find a certain part, that's time lost in terms of mining. So you have to take that opportunity cost into considerations when you're looking for parts. Obviously, don't go and buy things that are double the price or triple the price. Do not do that. But if you find something that's like maybe 10% more, 20% more, and otherwise you might have to wait a month or two to get that part, just get it. RAM, I got DDR3, 2 sticks. I believe this is 8 GB. Yeah, just found it from a gentleman that's selling it on Facebook Marketplace, $30. What else? The CPU was so expensive. I couldn't find a processor, not even on Amazon, not even locally, not even something that's like cheap and affordable. I got a let me check my sheet. I got a 9600K, and that was so expensive. 250 bucks. That was probably my biggest, I don't want to say regret, but the thing that I felt weird about spending so much money on. However, this is how I justified it. This motherboard CPU combination with the cooler, I also got like a fancy cooler for 40 bucks or something like that. You don't need to do so. Usually most CPUs come with coolers, but if they don't, you can get whatever you want. I justified paying for this because at the end of the mining life of this motherboard, I can put it in another PC, in a gaming PC, in a productivity PC, and it will be a very good setup. So these have very good resale price. versus something, if you buy a mining motherboard, or if you buy like a weak CPU, you'll probably exhaust it, and at the end of its life, you know, if you decide to sell it, unless we're another boom, you won't make a whole lot of money back. Anyway, cool. So let's get to the build. I think this is gonna be a way quicker one. If my head cuts off during this, again, please excuse me. I don't have a lot of space, and I tried the wide angle feature on my camera, but it looked a little bit awkward. So first things first, what are we doing? I've already secured the motherboard. I've already put the cooler in. I've already put the CPU in. If you guys need information on how to do that, go back to my first video, which you guys have watched so much. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna put the PSU. Now, I've been thinking about ways of securing this PSU in place, and I haven't figured out a proper way yet. However, I found a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace that sells brackets, like 3D printed graphics. I'm gonna be getting those tomorrow. I was so excited to get this video started, and I didn't want to wait. So for now, we're gonna be using zip ties. I love these. These are so useful. I use them a lot. I buy them a lot, and I waste a lot of zip ties. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna get these long ones, and I'm gonna secure this in place so that we're comfortable while we are working on the PSU and connecting things. So let's talk about, you know, what's going on with GPU prices these days. And I'm gonna try to focus on doing two things at the same time. I'm very, very terrible with multitasking in general. I have to do one thing at a time. So if I start rambling, let me know, please. I like my videos to be straight, you know, straightforward and straight to the point, but you can skip anything that you're not interested in hearing about. GPU prices. 1660 Supers are going for $700, again, Canadian, on Facebook Marketplace. Do not buy them at that price. If you're getting into mining right now, it's a weird time. Like I've sort of educated myself to a certain extent on what am I getting myself into, and I mentioned in my other video, at the first video, that this is kind of like a science project and a little bit of a passion project for me right now. And I've always like looked at mining videos, and I've always been interested in them. I refuse to buy anything that is like double the price, or maybe I want to say maybe more than 30% the price. It just doesn't make sense. I feel like my payback period is going to be so high or so long, it's not going to make sense for me. So MSRP, I'm okay with. 10% more, 20% more, I'll let it fly. Anything beyond that, I'm gonna sit on the side and I'm gonna be a little bit patient and wait for a good deal. Sometimes I make an offer. I send a message to the person and I'll be like, look, I know it took you maybe a while to get this, maybe you waited for it for too long, maybe you had to, like, you know, I don't know, park your money or, like, you know, use money from your credit card to do this. So I will pay you MSRP, or cost pretty much, plus $50 for your time. Sometimes $70, sometimes $100. Most of the time, the answer is no. But I'm okay with that. It's fine. I respect their wishes, and they could sell it maybe for $700 for somebody that is willing to pay that much. I'm not, personally. Also, keep in mind that in regards to mining and profitability, and what's going on with Ethereum and what's going to happen in July, you have to be aware that since my last video, profitability has went down significantly. I want to say almost 40% or 30%, just because there aren't so much kind of like action happening on the network, and the hype is kind of like calming down a little bit. Plus, price went down from $2,000 to right now, I think we're at $1,600, and it was like even lower at one point. So all of that reduced profitability a lot. So if you're getting in and you're thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna like, you know, make this much money and that much money, that is incorrect. Maybe you might make a third of that. You might make a quarter of that. You might make less. You might make nothing. You have to be okay with all of the scenarios above because they're all a possibility. And for some of you who, some of you might already know this, but some might not, there is a suggestion that is called EIP 1559, which is coming in July. It's an Ethereum protocol that was approved a couple of days ago, and it's happening. And it's supposed to burn some of the fees that used to come to the miners, which will mean that profitability is gonna be reduced significantly. Now, having said that, that does not mean that you shouldn't consider mining at all, because there's other coins that are, profitable these days. I think Raven coin is doing really well, and I know like a couple of other coins. I haven't looked into them so much, but keep that in mind. That might be something that you wanna, consider. Maybe you can mine something else. Maybe you can take your GPUs offline for a bit until another coin comes out that is profitable. I'm gonna throw these over here. So just keep that in mind. It's something for you to know about what's happening in the mining market. The more I spend time kind of researching and looking online and watching YouTube videos, the more I learn about kind of the risks and rewards that come with cryptocurrency mining. So just keep that in mind. Okay, where were we? We were talking about 1660 supers, $700, $800, $750. Crazy prices. Do I think you should buy them at that price? No, do not. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm working on right now. I'm blocking the light. Okay, I just secured the PSU in place. So what I'm gonna do first is connect the 24-pin power into the motherboard, which sits right here, right next to the RAM. I know you guys can't see it. I don't have the capability to move the camera at this point. It took me a while to set it up in place. Anyway, 24-pin to the 24-pin connection into the motherboard. You won't miss it. This is power, okay? So I'm just gonna connect this. Cool. It's in. Towards the end, what I'm gonna do some like minor should I do some minor cable management right now? Maybe I should. Okay, I'm gonna actually do that. Here, I'm gonna zip tie this. Sometimes it's useful to do like these little cable management efforts here and there to move things out of the way while you work. And if it doesn't work, use more zip ties. I love zip ties. They're my favorite thing. Cool. What's next? What are we talking about? Let's talk about the 1070. I mentioned to you guys at the beginning of the video that I actually found it online through Facebook Marketplace. A gentleman was selling it, and he's like, oh, $280. So I went right away. I'm always checking my phone for any good deals, which is a problem because you don't want to be wasting a whole lot of time on your phone. Listed 6 minutes later, I see it. I'm like, okay, I'll offer you $240 and I'll come pick it up right now in 5 minutes. Luckily, he lived very close to me. He's like, deal. Right away, I sent him the money. I was like, I'm gonna send you a deposit right now of $50 so that you can secure it so that no one else takes it. He's like, for real? I'm like, yes. Yeah, I just, the risk of him running away with the money, and I didn't think he was gonna do so, was worth it. Just for me to get a good deal, because I knew if I waited a little bit longer, if I waited half an hour, 15 minutes, he was gonna get offers right, left and center, and I'm gonna miss that opportunity. So $240 for the 1070. Right now, people are selling it for $400, $500, $600. It's crazy. Do not buy it at that price. Okay, we're doing we're connecting the CPU at this point. So we're gonna. In the power supply, you have the spot, you have the CPU slot, 4x4 plus 4 CPU. You just connect this right here, and you're gonna run the cable all the way to your CPU connection, which is right next to your cooler, usually on the right side of your cooler. And we will also use zip ties to put this out of the way. Some people like doing cable management towards like the end, towards like the end of their work. I like to do it before, because again, while I work, it's just a lot easier for me to, you know, move things and put them out of the way. 1070, that's where we were, right? 1070s. Now the 1070 Ti is my baby. It's been sitting in my machine for the past 3 years. I think if I were to quantify how much it cost me at that time to, you know, own it, procure it, I would say probably 300 bucks, maybe 400 bucks at that time. And things were quite expensive back then, because in 2017, it was also the height of the crypto boom at that time, and things were quite expensive. And I only managed to get one by buying a pre-built, which is my computer that was that I used for almost 3 years until I upgraded a couple of days ago. But that's for another video. All right, what's next? We connected the PSU power. We connected the CPU power. What am I doing next? I think I'm gonna, so one key difference that I did this time with this rig versus the last rig is I added this, which is kind of like a resting plate or resting plank, whatever you want to call it, for the GPUs. I found that it was a lot easier for me and a lot better for the CPUs if they kind of like rested on this versus resting them on this end. So if you want to do like modification to your build, if you already have a rig that, you know, is made out of wood and you followed some sort of like online tutorial, just add this part right here and you'll thank me. And it's something that other people have done, like it's not something that I came up with. All right, we've got our first rig. Always secure it. So before you do any like handling of the rest of your rig, make sure you're securing it with a screw, with a zip tie, whatever you want to use, because you don't want to knock that bad boy over and have it fall and break. So this was the 1070. Now let's do the 1070 Ti. I'm just gonna do these in the order of whatever looks the same. Second riser is in. Here you go. This I'm not sure if you guys are gonna like this format. Like last time, I did an intro video, and then I did a time lapse with kind of like text overlay, and then this time I'm speaking a little bit more. So hopefully this is not gonna be not a too long of a video, or like hopefully whatever I give you, the information that I give you is valuable to you, so that you can go and kind of learn something from it, and help you if this is something that you're interested in picking up and learning about. I don't know if I should have put the 3070 on the outside, because I think it's going to be the biggest one of them all. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that right now. We're just gonna finish. We're gonna put all of these GPUs in, and I'm gonna unbox it. I'm gonna put this away. I'm gonna unbox it, and I'm gonna put this back, and add the 3070. All right, third riser. So I also want to talk about the 3070 and the price that I got it at, and the kind of what's going on online with pricing and all. 3070, I got it at MSRP. I went in pre-order. I went to a local store over here, and I was like, there's no way, I will be able to pre-order it, and people have been waiting for like months and all of that. But a friend told me, like, you know what, you never know. Some people can't, a lot of people are canceling their orders. Some people change their mind, or some people, already got cards from another place. So, if there was ever a cancellation, you might get a shot. So I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm just gonna go there and put in a pre-order. And so I went there, and they'll always ask you you know, kind of what is the purpose of this, of you buying this GPU? And that's a very important question, because I had no intentions of like buying this and scalping it and then like putting it out and selling it for double the price, because that's happening right now. People are getting GPUs for like, you know, maybe $900 or $1,000, and then selling it online for $1,500 or $1,400. And they make multiple profiles with the vendor, or like, you know, with, you know, different accounts and all of that, just to scalp and sell them at inflated prices. At inflated prices. I do not agree with that. I don't want to be part of it. I'm not gonna pay into, you know, for two scalpers, and I understand why vendors are asking people, you know, is this gonna be part of the build, or like, you know, what are you doing with this, and all of that. So when I was asked that, I was very clear, like, look, this is for me. I'm gonna be using it for personal purposes. I'm not gonna be, you know, reselling it and all of that stuff. And the lady was like, okay, cool. You know, we're just trying to make sure that you have it for the right reasons, sort of thing. So I appreciated that. You know, I thought that was, you know, a good way of, you know, maybe filtering out those who, you know, just have the intention of scalping it. I don't want to do it. So I got it for $899 before tax, and I think after tax it was roughly around $1,000. You guys can calculate the exact number. Roughly around that price. I actually have an Excel sheet that is open over here. I should have referenced the Excel sheet. But yeah, $899 before tax, which again roughly was around $1,000 after tax, MSRP. Again, do not go out and buy any GPUs, any 3070s that are, you know, being put out there for, you know, $1,500, $1,400, sometimes even more. eBay is the worst place to buy any GPU at this point, because prices are so expensive over there. Amazon, yeah, again, it depends. Newegg, again, it depends what, you know, price you're getting it at. Version 009S. These look a little bit smaller, don't they? No, they're about the same size. Yeah, so that is the 3070. And there we are. We have a motherboard, Z390A Pro from MSI. We have risers, 5 risers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 risers, 5 GPUs, 2 1060 Supers, 1 1070, 1 1070 Ti, and a 3070. And this is gonna be my Nvidia rig. We're gonna set it up in Hive OS. I'm hoping that the motherboard doesn't give me issues like last time. It took me a whole lot of troubleshooting to figure out, you know, how to connect more than 4 GPUs. So I'm really hoping that this is not gonna be an issue at this point. But I promise you guys, I'm gonna be doing like a BIOS video. Many have asked me in the comments last time, which I appreciate. Thank you everybody who commented, who, you know, was interested in kind of like, you know, how I went about things. Many were interested in trying to figure out how did I fix the BIOS issues and how did I make the motherboard recognize more than 4 GPUs. And I need to make that video. I haven't got around to it, but I will do so. In the meantime, if you have any questions about, you know, your BIOS settings, any issues that you're having, ask me in the comments and I will respond to you by text or, you know, via reply with the BIOS settings that I had to adjust in order to make this work. Okay, I'm gonna put this away and open the 3070 on camera. It's my first time opening it, by the way. And yeah, we'll kind of see what it's all about, and then I'll put it back in the rig. The Asus TUF Gaming graphics card. I'm very fortunate to have landed one of these. I feel very lucky, and I'm super happy. I hope that I make good use of it, and it goes towards what I think is a good cause, which is mining. I know not everybody agrees with that, and I saw it in the comments in the last video. But that's okay. We don't have to agree with me or what other miners are doing, and I'm okay with that. And I hope to clear any misconceptions that anybody has, you know, about GPU mining. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And I really want to approach it with an open mind and see what you guys think. Like I'm not gonna start this conversation by hating on anybody or saying that one party is right and the other is wrong and all of that. And before I start talking about it, while we open this, I'm gonna say something that I'm a gamer myself. And this whole argument between mining and gamers, or miners and gamers, have existed since mining existed, or since mining started. Miners or gamers say that miners are the reason why GPU prices are going up. And miners say that gamers are the reason why GPU prices are going up. Both parties kind of like blame each other. And in my opinion, in my personal opinion, both parties are accountable for GPU prices. Whether they go up, whether they go down. Supply and demand. There are a lot more gamers than miners. I can tell you, out of my friends, I am the only person who, does GPU mining, and I'm doing it as a hobby. So almost everybody else, and I'm talking tens of them, are gamers. So yes, I do have 5 GPUs, but I probably have I'm not sure what the exact number is, but tens of gamer friends. I think, in my opinion, there's a GPU shortage out there, GPU supply shortage out there, and both parties, miners and gamers and video editors, and I game and I mine right now as a hobby, and I edit videos. We're all responsible for this. So we either take kind of collective responsibility without blaming each other, because that doesn't help anybody, or we don't take any responsibility at all. But in the meantime, whoever basically in my comments said like, hey, you're the reason why GPU prices are going up, I have respect to you. I have no issues against that argument. I agree with you that miners are one of the reasons why GPU prices are going up. That is 100% accurate. But gamers as well, and video editors, and everybody that's sitting at home right now because of COVID and wanting better GPUs and building a PCs and all that, everybody is part of that problem. And you couple that with the supply shortage, then prices go up. And then you got scalpers online that are selling this for double the price, then everybody's losing, sort of thing. So I think all of us have to kind of work together to, control this, understand each other. So yeah, I just wanted to address that situation because I did see it in my comments, and I want to make sure that, I just kind of talk about it a little bit. Here's the beautiful 3070. So precious. Look at that. We're just gonna open it. Very good box, very nice box. I know us GPU owners love our boxes and we keep them for a long time, and it's whenever you want to sell a GPU, you have to make sure the box is still available. All right. Look at that. Triple fan. Oh, there's a switch that says performance mode versus quiet mode, and it's switched on performance mode right now. I wonder what that does. Dual 8-pin PSU connection. I think my PSU will be able to handle this. It has 3 display ports and 2 HDMI. This is a very good looking card. All right, we're gonna do this together. Check this out, right here. Such a satisfying feeling when you do this. Look at that. Beautiful. It is such a beautiful card. You feel this. You know what I should have done? I should have maybe pulled out a list of questions that people had in the comments so that I can answer them on, in this video. And I'm gonna do that in another video. So if you have any questions about anything that I've done in this video, next video, and I already know what I'm gonna talk about, I'll answer those questions. And I try to, oh, look at that. And I try to answer like in the comments, but I know sometimes like, you know, people might forget to go back to it or like get lost in the comments. I try to answer almost every question that people had last time. Key refuses to come out. I don't want to scratch it. This is a beautiful card. I know I've said it 3 times already, but I just want to make sure you guys know how pretty this card is. So let's talk about what I want to talk about next while we put this together. You know, is the expected hashing rate out of every card that we have in this Nvidia build, my beautiful Nvidia build. Initially, well, let's start off with the 1070. I think the 1070 will do 27 to 28 mega hash. This is purely based on what I've read online. 27 to 28 mega hash at maybe 100 to 110 watts, which is okay. It's not, you know, too bad, but it's not perfect. It's not a very efficient card. It's old. 1070 Ti will probably do 30 to 31, maybe 32. With overclock, obviously, at the same wattage, anywhere from 100 to 110 watts. Now, the 1660 Supers are amazing because they can do 30 to 31 at like 80 watts, making them extremely efficient cards. Now, the 3070, I actually haven't looked online a lot for like online resources and literature on, you know, how much hashing it's gonna get, but I think we should expect maybe 60 in terms of hashing, mega hash per sec, but I'm not sure at what wattage. I have to look into it a little bit more and I'll be able to let you guys know. Why is this wobbly? I don't want to be. Okay, I think that's fine. All right, last card. This bad boy. 3070. I wanted to put it at the beginning, but it's okay. Oh, wrong way. Okay, I need a riser. There we go. I want to make sure that my camera is still working. Can you imagine like filming all of this? Yeah, recording 44 minutes. Okay, cool. This should have been a live stream. I think that would have been. But I wanted to answer questions. Like the goal of this video is for me to do this, but at the same time answer many of the questions that people had in my last video. Talk about, you know, the state of GPUs these days and what goes on into buying one, and show you guys, you know, step by step how to go about building the rig for the second time. We're done. We're almost done, I promise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then leaves us room for 1. And if I later on want to like adjust things, I will do so. Like if I want to add a 7th or something like that. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, all GPUs are secured. Now we have to finish the connections. Okay, first things first, what I'm gonna do is connect my connected PCI rises into the motherboards. Because so typically you should basically do this one GPU at a time and turn it on and see if it, you know, the operating system sees it. I've done this before and I think I figured out a way for it to work even, you know, while connecting, you know, several GPUs at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically connect 5 of them together. Now, I know it's not the best way of going about it. If this is the first time, you know, you put a rig together, just do it one by one, see if anything kind of like falls apart or breaks. This way you'll be able to troubleshoot things as you go. I don't think I'm gonna care about wire management right now or cable management. I'll just leave that for another video. PCIe cables. Now, I am not 100% sure if I'm doing this the right way. I have 3 PCIe basically outs or whatever, like in, out, whatever. And each PCIe cable splits into 2. So if somebody can tell me if I'm doing this the right way or not. I have tried this before and it has worked, but I'm not 100% sure if this is the right way. I'm gonna put one of these in, like in one of the graphics cards, and then the other in the other graphics card on the same cable. Okay? If you think this is a bad idea, let me know. Okay? And I will be happy to listen to your advice. So we're gonna start off with the first 2 right here. Connect. Now, I am not going to do this for the 3070 because it consumes a lot more power. So I'm gonna actually give it its own cable or its own supply. Second one's in. Okay, third one's in, and this is gonna, these 2 are gonna go straight up into the 3070. So one goes here, and the other as well comes in, same thing. Okay, what else? We've connected the power supply to the GPUs. The last thing that we have to do is power the risers, right? Let me come this way. I think I'll be able, you guys might see it a little bit better. So the rule of thumb that I read online is that you only power 2 risers per riser strand. I have 2 over here. I'm gonna go get a third. So peripherals and SATA. This goes into the peripherals and SATA. Okay, and we're gonna go. This is the first riser right here. Powered. I'm gonna skip one. Should I skip one? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna skip one. It doesn't matter. And we'll do the second. I know some of you in the comments last time, you know, mentioned like airflow and organization, all that. And you're 100% right. Like this is something that I know I need to fix and work on, and I will. I just have very, very little time to do some of this stuff, but I know I should be careful with that. Where's the, okay, here's the second. Third is gonna go in right here. Third. Fourth. Cool. Fourth is right here. And then fifth, I have to get one more. All right, I managed to get the third SATA strand from my PSU box. I'm gonna connect it, and then we are gonna power the riser of the 3070 with this strand. Okay, what else do we need? This is something cool that I also found online. So my first build, because the motherboard doesn't have a power switch, I would have to jump start the motherboard every time I want to turn it on, turn it off, all of that stuff, and that was annoying. So you can find just like a regular PC switch, like a desktop PC switch, like an on and off and reset button, and then you can connect it to the power connectors in your motherboard, and then all of a sudden you can just turn it on, turn it off, which I thought was very, very convenient. So I'm gonna do that right now. It goes into, at least on the Z390A, the MSI one, it goes into something called the JFP1. And all you gotta do is follow the the instructions in the motherboard manual, and you'll be able to know where everything goes. Yeah, connected, and I'm gonna run it through here for now, and I'll just wrap it around and we'll figure out what to do with it later. Perfect. What else? Let me just make sure everything's in, making sure all the connections are secured. Now, and we'll find that out in a bit once we turn this on. This motherboard has a dedicated PCIe power right here. And on the first build, actually, in order to be able to connect 6 GPUs, I had to connect, I think one of the steps, and the reason why it worked and it recognized more than 5 GPUs or more than 4 GPUs is because I connected the PCIe power. So this time I'm going to be running it in HiveOS, and I'm running it off of a USB. We're going to try to see if it's going to work and if it's going to recognize all 6 GPUs or 5 GPUs without us doing that. Either way, I have to do it anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is, find some splitters and maybe actually do a dual PSU setup on this rig itself. If I add a 6 GPU, I'm going to need another PSU. So that's for another video. We're not going to worry about that right now. All right, guys, now that we're done with the build, I went ahead and booted the rig in HiveOS, and unfortunately it only recognized 4 GPUs, and the moment I added the 5th one, it wouldn't post. Nothing would happen. It wouldn't even load, or maybe sometimes 4 GPUs would show up and the 5th wouldn't show up. Anyway, it's the same issue that I had with the last motherboard, and I'm gonna go through the same steps that I followed in order to resolve it. However, what I did is I actually duplicated the settings that in the BIOS that I did for the first one, and I put the same settings in for the second one, and it still didn't work. I enabled 4G decoding. I changed my lane speed to Gen 2. I changed my boot mode to UEFI. I changed the integrated graphics configuration and played around with that, and it still didn't work. So what I have suspicions that you need to power the motherboard with a dedicated PCIe power cable in order for this to work. And I'll show you what I mean by that right now. Now, I'm not able to do it right now because my PSU does not support it. I only have 3 PCIe out. So unfortunately, I either have to use another motherboard or upgrade the PSU. And I think I'm going to upgrade the PSU, or maybe get another PSU, like a smaller PSU, and run it in parallel. But that's for another video. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about right now. Check this out. Right here on the motherboard, this is, as I've mentioned, the Z390A, the MSI one. This right here, right next to the cooler, right next to this, there's something called PCIe power. And I have a feeling that if we plug more than 4 GPUs in our PCIe lanes, we need to power it. Because maybe it's not, pushing enough power in these, and that's why it's not posting. Again, I've duplicated the settings similar to like my first rig right here, which is working fine. There's like 6 GPUs on this and it works fine. Duplicated the BIOS settings, did everything, tried HiveOS and Windows, and it didn't work. So the last thing that I haven't tried is this guy right here. Unfortunately, as I've told you guys, my PSU doesn't have any more capacity, so I have to either upgrade this or add another PSU in order to do this. But that is for another video, since I can't do it right now. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you guys, the full build, or like basically the full functionality of the build, and it booting and it working and all of that. But I'll do that on another video, I promise. I want to finish this video by thanking you guys for all the comments and all the appreciation that you've given me on my first video. I hope this video kind of helped. It was a little bit, it was a different format. It was a lot longer. The first one was, I think, 9 minutes or 10 minutes. This is going to be probably an hour when I edit this. I'm going to try to consolidate it as much as possible. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try to answer them. And the next video is going to be showing you guys how I'm going to make this work through powering that motherboard with exactly what I explained right now, and hopefully that works. Until then, I'm gonna use 4 GPUs. I'm gonna use the two 1660 Supers, and the 1070 Ti, and the 3070, and I'm gonna run it in Hive OS, and I'm gonna put the 1070 on the side until I figure this things out. All right, thanks everybody, take care, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye.